You know what would go great with these waffles? Some syrup. Now stay here, waffles. Don't go anywhere. Should not have stayed up so late last night. Oh wait, I forgot to get syrup when I went shopping last. Note to self, buy some more syrup. Well, I guess I'll have my waffles without syrup. Who the hell are you? And how in the name of Little Pip's virtue did you get in here?
Well, I followed the scent of waffles, and I wound up in your kitchen.
But the circ is off and doesn't even work correctly when it turns on. How? How is that even possible?
Well, due to plot convenience, that would be how I got in here.
Since you're here anyways, wanna help me review an MLP comic? It's the micro series starring the CMC.
Sure, why not?
Okay then, let's head to the review room. We should be there by the end of the spoiler alert.
This video will contain a shitload of spoilers, so before you bitch at us for ruining the comic, go read the damn thing. So you have been fucking warned. So sit back and relax, and for God's sakes, no bitching. Where the fuck did that text come from?
Oh, that's just my brother text typer. Long story short, I accidentally turned him into disembodied text.
Well, that sucks.
Moving on to the review, as mentioned in the cold opening, we'll be reviewing the 7th micro-series comic starring
the CMC!
Yep. And the story is by Ted Anderson, with art by Ben Bates. Ben Bates chose to draw in a different style than he did in the Pinkie Pie micro-series. In that micro-series comic, it was more of a toony art style, like something you would find in a newspaper. This art style seems to be inspired by anime, maybe? It looks very similar to a lot of animes. The big eyes and such.
The art, in my opinion, is great. I love how the sketch type outlines work with the colors. Everything is fluid and just downright awesome. But then again, the only other comic I've read is number 17 of the main series.
But enough on the art. Time for the story. So the comic begins with the CMC on summer break, and bored out of their minds. So they decide that it is a good idea to go into the Everfree Forest, alone, without a map.
Do the older ponies ever supervise the CMC?
If they did, I imagine the first arc would have gone completely different.
Hey, I haven't read that arc yet.
What can I say? The spoiler alert applies to the ponies in the video as much as the ones watching it. You knew what you were signing on for.
Anyways, the CMC stumble upon an underground cave. In said cave, they find a gem. When they are unable to figure out what kind of gem it is, they decide to take it to Rarity to see if she knows.
Okay, 3 things. 1. What happened to Sweetie Belle's CMC cloak after they fell? It disappears for one panel and then shows up again the next. 2. Didn't they say they were lost just a few panels before? How did they find their way back to Ponyville so quickly?
Maybe it skipped the days of wandering the Everfree Forest and jumped to them finding their way home?
And lastly, how are they not hurt after that fall?
It is a children's comic. Don't you think that's a bit nitpicky? Anyways, Rarity has no clue what the gem is or if it is even a gem. Luckily, Twilight is getting a dress fitted.
Because plot convenience.
So, Twilight brings them back to the library to find out what it is.
Turns out is something called the Greater Equestrian Mimicker. Like a changeling, it can change form. Although, nothing pony-shaped, thankfully.
So, if it is technically a living creature, does that mean the CMC kidnapped it from its parents?
It was an accident? Anyways, with that plot point revealed, the Mimicker finally transforms into something. A stool. Don't know why it was waiting this long to transform. Oh well, I guess that's when it wanted to transform. Maybe it was sleeping or something.
And don't forget about young mimickers transforming into a ton of things to find what they like best, much like a filly discovering its cute art.
Well, I guess I become forgetful when I'm hungry. Which I wouldn't be if some pesky Pegasi didn't plunder my perfectly prepared waffles.
That alliteration would have worked better if you made pancakes, though waffles are superior.
Still doesn't give you the right to steal my waffles.
Here, have my pocket burrito.
Oh, thank you. Wait, how long was that burrito in your pocket? Oh god, you don't have any pockets. By the unholy power of Discord!
While he is busy, I'll continue. Scootaloo decides to name the mimicker Imp, and they make her a Cutie Mark Crusader. Hold on, gotta read Colin's line. So, that makes 5 known CMC members. Sweetie Belle, Apple Bloom, Scootaloo, Babsy, and now Imp.
Now I feel even more hungry than I was before. But I can wait until after the review. So now that makes 5 known.
Purdy said that line while you were throwing up my generously given pocket burrito.
Well then I guess it's only fair that I get your next line. Hold on a second. Okay, so they, or more correctly, Imp, goes on a changing spree for the rest of the day, and for some reason starts getting upset. But the CMC interpret that as her being tired.
So it is decided that Imp will spend the night at Apple Bloom's.
So the transformations continue with a dangerous rocket-powered wagon. After a crash and a cameo from Applejack, they decide to be a little less reckless.
So they head to Carousel Boutique where
every garment is chic, unique, and magnifique.
Hey, only I can call forth cutaway reference clips.
Yeah, you and every other brony analysis on YouTube.
Good point. Anyways, they put on a fashion show with Imp as all the different clothes. The only thing I find wrong with this scene is it really isn't the type of thing that Scoots would willingly participate in, and she's not objecting.
And the next day, Scootaloo shows up with an idea for a skate park, and Apple Bloom has a better wagon design.
What happened to the fancy blueprint paper Apple Bloom was using the previous day?
She ran out? Is it really that important to point out?
No, I guess not. Though I still really want to know.
So, then the trademarked CMC bickering ensues, until finally Imp has had enough and is all,
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
But she isn't going home. That clip didn't make any sense.
meh, it's close enough.
So Imp runs off to the plot convenience market. I mean the flea market, but it's basically the same thing.
Wait a second, get that panel up for a second. What is that? Is that another rainbow maned handheld pony?
I fear for what will happen if I say yes.
There are only 2 cannon ponies with rainbow manes, rainbow dash, and rainbow blades. That is it.
3 if you count the achromatic rainbow of Daring Do.
You're missing the points, and to the viewers watching, don't be all, it might be Rainbow Dash. No, it has a fucking star, is a cutie mark. A motherfucking star. And it isn't even the right color code. It is also an Earth pony, for fuck's sakes. Screw off, Tex, or I'm gonna take your disembodied self down here and put you in the fucking swear jar.
That's odd. I thought Jet had the record for number of swears in a row. Anyways, maybe it's some sort of self-insert by one of the people on the creative team? Or possibly it's a Wish Foundation request? Or maybe, headcanon time, maybe it's Rainbow Dash's mom.
Shut up, comic.
Oh, don't get your mane in a bunch over the coloring of an unimportant background pony. Hey Text, you alright?
I'm fine too, thanks for asking.
You know, I wasn't aware that disembodied text could be injured.
Hey, by the way, your channel's fourth wall is now at about 69% efficiency.
I'll fix it later. We really should get back to the review. So after searching the whole entire flea market, the CMC flee to Twilight's library.
And isn't that T-Rex Target?
Well, canonically, this comic takes place before Magical Mystery Cure, so Twilight isn't an alicorn yet. And also, T-Rex doesn't technically exist. Officially, he escaped from Tartarus during It's About Time, which did happen at this point, I think.
They find poor Imp cowering on Twilight's shelves as a book. They realize that they were being selfish by forcing Imp to transform into only stuff they wanted, instead of stuff she wanted.
And then with Twilight's help, they somehow find the spot where they were lost. At least they're supervised this time. And they put Imp back where they found her.
The end!
Overall, I give this comic about 6.5 imps out of 10. My only major gripes with it were a few inconsistencies in the drawings and some contrived plot points. It was a rather nice slice of life starring non-main Six members. Sure, they cameoed, but they weren't the focus. And also, the moral was okay. It was something along the lines of, you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. I'm kidding. It was that you shouldn't take your friends for granted and force them to do things they don't want to do.
This comic is pretty good. Personally, I would give it about a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. It is well written and the art style is nice and clean, but personally, I find it got a bit rushed in the end of the comic. There may have also been a little bit too much time spent on making Imp change into many different things, but in the end, the lesson is nice and is right there. You don't really need to think or dig for the lesson. Friends are people you get along with and understand. You don't use them for your own personal gain or your own purposes. They are there to hang out with you and be there when you need help. So in turn, I really like the comic, and I hope to see more success with comics like this.
And that is our 2 bits on the micro-series starring the CMC. Tell us your 2 bits in the comments below. And while you're down there, why not suggest a future spoiler alert? And don't forget to like and subscribe.
And also, head over to one of my channels. Links in the description. You smell that?
No.
It smells like waffles!
Well, I'm pretty sure that Pegasi's name is CarBon, based on the channel links he gave me. Anyways, I'm Comic Sans, and I will see you next week when I'll be reviewing the micro-series starring Princess Sunbutt herself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I will get something to eat, and then repair the 4th wall. The cirque should be the only breach. If only it worked correctly.